Dia feliz que chegou, o sol no céu surgiu, em cada cor brilhou, voltou um sonho então, um coração. Depois desse dia feliz, não sei se outro dia virá. A nossa manhã tão bela fina. Canta o meu coração, alegria voltou, tão feliz amanhã desse amor. Canta o meu coração, alegria voltou, tão feliz amanhã desse amor.
Coming up this Saturday night at the West End Cultural Center at 8 p.m., audiences are invited on a musical journey, one that travels deep into the heart of Brazil and back in time to the rich sounds of the early and mid-20th century. Jazz singer and pianist Amber Epp joins Brazilian guitar virtuoso Emmanuel Bach for Brazil Before Bossa Nova, an exploration of the vibrant musical traditions that laid the groundwork for one of the world's most beloved genres. From the intricate rhythms of choro to the exuberance of samba and the romantic sweep of samba-canção, the program traces the evolution of Brazilian music before the cool, unmistakable sound of bossa nova emerged on the global stage. With Bach's masterful command of guitar paired with Epp's expressive Portuguese vocals, the performance offers both authenticity and emotional depth. Part concert, part cultural voyage, Brazil Before Bossa Nova promises an evening of rhythm, history, and irresistible energy, bringing to life the sounds that shaped Brazil's musical identity long before Bossa Nova captivated the world in the late 50s and 60s. And joining me here in the Classic 107 studio, I am joined by Amber Epp and Emmanuel Bach. Hey, Emmanuel and Amber, so great to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
So firstly, what did we just hear?
What did we just hear?
The first tune.
The first tune. The first tune is called Manhã de Carnaval, also known as Black Orpheus, from a very famous movie of the same title.
Yeah. Okay, so the concert before Brazil Before Bossa Nova sounds super cool. Amber and Emmanuel, you've been playing together for a bit now. How did the idea for this concert come about?
Well, the idea for this concert, during COVID, I started doing more research about Brazilian music history, just because musicians didn't have gigs, right? So I had spent a lot of time at the house, and like, how do I don't not go crazy? I have to find something to occupy my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
So I started doing a little bit of research about Brazilian music history, samba history more specifically. And then one thing led to another, like I kind of kept searching. And then during my master degree, I was taking a musicology class, which is a lot of this like social aspects connected to music, right? That was the focus. And I remember my professor came to us and said, look, you have to find a way to incorporate musicology into your performance. So you have to write this paper about like how you're going to incorporate musicology into your concerts. And then I started thinking, that actually would work very nice with the Bossa Nova history, because I could, with all the stuff that I've been reading, and I could put together a set that kind of helps to tell that story with music.
Yeah. And there you have it. My understanding is samba is sort of the precursor to bossa nova. Emmanuel, can you compare samba and bossa nova? How are they different?
Well, for me, they're the same thing. Here's the thing. Bossa Nova is a commercial label, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because what is Bossa Nova? Is mixing the jazz with the samba, right? Well, guess what? There were people doing that before Jobim and João Gilberto, So Bossa Nova existed before the label Bossa Nova existed. That's why we call the show Brazil Before the Bossa. Originally, in Portuguese, the name that I wanted to give to this show is like a bossa antes da bossa, which is bossa in Portuguese is like, when a swag is a swag.
Yeah.
It means swag, right? So I said like the swag before the bossa, or the bossa before the bossa. Right? But then we end up changing, just for clarity in English, it makes more sense to say Brazil before the bossa. But the show actually shows that Bossa Nova existed before the label Bossa Nova existed. Back in the 30s, like Pixinguinha already did that.
Yeah. I've talked about this a number of times, Emmanuel. As you know, one of the things I love about Brazilian music is the rhythm. And it's samba and bossa nova. It's one of those kinds of music you have to listen to and just sort of internalize it. You can't read it. It has to be felt. I'm going to ask the question to both of you. When you're playing the rhythm and the parts, what are the main differences between samba and bossa nova? And I'm also thinking about harmonic differences. Are there harmonic differences?
Harmonic difference. There are a lot of harmonic differences. If you want to take Jobim saying, there is an interview to a Canadian interviewing, actually, that's part of in a book that Jobim saying we took the samba that was not suitable for recording because it's too loud, there's too much percussion, and we cleaned that up. So this is a cleansed version of samba. Yes and no. The rhythm, there's not really that much difference. Maybe João Gilberto has his own personal approach to playing samba on guitar that some people may think this is the bossa nova rhythm, but it's not really something of its own, the rhythmic part. The harmony, yes, jazz harmony with samba. That's what bossa nova is, right? But bossa nova is, in the 50s, what happens is that the Brazilian government went to a type of Brazilian culture that was to be exported to the United States, and they wanted a certain look to be attached with that music, So they want this predominantly white and middle class people that look nice in the pictures for them, to be the face to be advertised outside the country, and that's what the bossa nova is, right? That label is for that. They chose the artists a little bit based on that.
Yeah. Amber, how about you as a keyboard player? Is it are the jazz harmonies harder for bossa nova?
I don't know if the harmony's harder. The rhythm is the main difference, I would say, between swing music and bossa nova. And to put it very simply, samba music is faster and bossa music is slower. Yeah. It's the same thing happens in Cuban music. A bolero.
I disagree.
Oh, no! Okay, correct me, my friend.
Because there's samba that's slow as well, right? So that's the thing. I'm
I
only
gotta get some more
I'm
education.
I'm poking people this way because that's a often asked question. And I've had that discussion with other musicians, and there's like people have been discussing this. This is like a subject of academic discussion and everything, and there's like, it's not a simple yes or no question because, okay, yeah, samba is faster, bossa nova is slower, but there's samba that's very slow as well. You
What's the
listen to a
difference?
Cartola plays very slow samba, as slow as the bossa nova. So
Is there any rhythmic difference between a slow samba and a slow bossa?
there's no rhythmic difference between the bossa nova and the samba.
There we go. I've been educated
harmony-
too. The journey
the-
continues.
The harmony, the jazz harmony, bossa nova uses jazz harmony and maybe like a little bit of like the choro harmony as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, and then that which is a little different from the jazz.
And I mean, that's another big form is the choro, right? Like, can you talk about that? Like, it is incredibly intricate from what I understand.
Well, choro is not like, and the thing that people get confused often is like choro is not a style of its own. Choro is a way to play. Choro in Portuguese means to cry. So when you play in a mournful way the instrument, right? Like you're moaning when you're playing the instrument. That comes like with if you listen to the Portuguese fado, when they play the mandolin, they have like all this tremolo, very emotional, like playing. There's like, they play the choro, like you look at the choro repertoire, there's polkas, there's mazurkas, there's like some African rhythms like lundu, and there's some rhythms that mixture there. There's even like Cuban habaneras on it, so it's a mixture of different styles, but the way they play it is in that, like the way they interpret the pieces is like a cry, like they're crying with the instrument. So that's where that label came. But choro is a very complex music. It's very rich. There's a lot of different composers in a large repertoire, and is the basis of all the Brazilian music. Like the modern Brazilian music is all based on choro. Yeah.
So the concert's on Saturday at the West End. What can audiences expect? And can you mention like some of the tunes and some of the artists that you're going to be covering?
Yeah, sure. So we're sort of going back in time and sharing some of the songs and the stories that go with them, like leading up to the first recorded, what's considered the first recorded bossa nova, Chega de Saudade. And of course, Emmanuel's the expert, so he's going to share a lot of the history. As you can tell, I'm still learning, got a lot to learn. And I don't know, what are some of the songs you're especially looking forward to playing, Emmanuel?
Playing Johnny Alf's music a little bit, because he's like considered by many the father of bossa nova, one of the guys like who was very important in mixing that jazz harmony with the samba. But because he was black and homosexual, he was left out of the bossa nova movement a little bit. So I always love playing his music and giving people the opportunity to know this amazing composer, which like Jobim was a big fan of him. So João Gilberto, like, because he's a big influence on Brazilian music that maybe North Americans are not as familiar with.
What about any João Gilberto?
Yeah, we would definitely, we'll be playing that but Johnny Alf is my personal, favorite on this show. But
something else I'm looking forward to. There's some songs that, I didn't know were so popular. Emmanuel says, oh, let's learn this one, let's do that one. And then when I sing it, if there's any Brazilians there, they stand up, they're crying, they're they're really into it. And because it's new to me, I don't know that yet. But I look forward to that moment singing a song like there's one called Carinhoso, which is very well loved around Brazil. So if there's any Brazilians there, like I'm gonna look for their faces. I want to see how they react.
Yeah.
And there's also some interesting like political history in bossa nova that has been very interesting to learn about. How politics influenced music being composed, not just how it was marketed, but composed in the first place.
What's it like to sing in Portuguese? Like, is it different? Is it harder than Spanish? And like, you perform a lot of Latin American music. Does that come in handy when you're singing Brazilian music?
Definitely comes in handy. For me, Portuguese is newer, so it's still a challenge. I've been singing in Spanish for like 20 years, so there's a lot of similarities. They're like language cousins. But Portuguese is a bit like English in a way where you have the rule if it's this kind of word, but if it's here or in this context, you change it. Oh, except for this time. So, and if you live in this part, you say it like this. Oh, if you're from that part, you say it like that. So doing my best to learn, trying not to swear by accident, and doing my best.
So where do you go for advice? Emmanuel or just...
Emmanuel gives me some advice, yeah. I also have a friend from Brazil who's a linguist. So I meet up with her once in a while. When I have a big show, we go for coffee or I go to her house and we go through all the lyrics and I sing them for her, and then she helps me whichever ones like could sound better or improve. And then I always ask her after every show, like, tell me if any word was like especially strange, let me know. And listen, like try to learn from listening to recordings.
Yeah, and just taking it in orally.
Well,
yeah.
if anything, there are a couple of people like start sending Amber like emails in Portuguese and stuff, like that means that she's doing really well with her Portuguese.
Yeah. Aside from Emmanuel and Amber, you two on stage, who else is going to be joining you on Saturday night at the West End?
Yeah, so Fabio Ragnelli is going to be playing drums. He's the drum professor at the U of M. And Carl Kohut is playing bass. He's also at the U of M. We're getting like all the U of M crew here. And we're also having Zachary Rushing as a guest vocalist. He's going to sing in Portuguese.
Wow.
And he's there to represent Dick Farney, who's sort of like the Brazilian Frank Sinatra. So going to come with that like deep voice. And I went to his house the other day and we were practicing this song in Portuguese. And he's sounding great. So
how many songs is he singing?
Oh, just one.
Just one.
Yeah, for now. We'll give him another one next time.
This has been so great. I'm going to wrap up the conversation by asking what you hope audiences are going to take away from the show on Saturday night. Emmanuel, maybe let's start with you.
They will understand more about how like Brazilian culture is, and like some of the politics and that are attached with the music, and why Brazilian culture is the way it is, and how our music became what it is, which there's a big passion for Brazilian music here, and a lot of people love playing it, and and it's great.
Yeah.
For me, it's great like to have opportunity to share that culture with people. So it's always, people love the educational aspect of that show as well. So you're not gonna only listen to music, but you're also gonna learn a lot of things about music on this show.
And Amber, how about you?
I mean, every show, I just hope people have a great time enjoying music. And something personally that's important to me is to celebrate the cultures of people that have moved to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So this is one way we can do it. We're going to, like Emmanuel's moved here from Brazil, like we can celebrate his culture. We've invited a lady to come sell her Brazilian food at the event, like some more ways to share and celebrate. Yeah. So I hope like people enjoy the music and get more interested in experiencing more Brazilian music in the future.
Yeah, and the doors open at 7.
That's right.
And the show's at 8, so people can like mill around and check out some of the Brazilian stuff. Amazing. Amber and Emmanuel, as always, this has been so much fun having you here in studio. I hope the West End is packed and cooking with the sounds of Brazil on Saturday night. All the best, and thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me today. It's been great.
It's been our pleasure.
For our Classic 107 listeners, Brazil Before Bossa Nova with Amber Epp and Emmanuel Bach takes place this Saturday night at 8 p.m. at the West End Cultural Center. For more details, visit wecc.ca or go to classic107.com. I have embedded a direct link to the concert page in the article about the show that you can find up there now. Emmanuel and Amber, thanks again. And you're going to play us out. What are we going to hear?
We're going to hear a song by Johnny Alf called Rapaz de Bem.
Você bem sabe, eu sou rapaz de bem. A minha onda é de vai e vem, pois com as pessoas que eu tenho tratar, eu qualquer dia posso me arrumar, ver se mora no meu preparo intelectual. Eu trabalho a pior moral, não sendo a minha apresentação. O meu dinheiro sai de arrumação. Eu tenho casa, tenho comida, não passo fome, graças a Deus. graças a Deus. E no biscote eu sou de mote. Tendo isto tudo, não preciso de mais nada, é claro. Se a luz do sol vem me trazer calor, e a luz da lua vem trazer amor, tudo de graça a natureza dá. Pra que eu quero trabalhar? Pra que eu quero? Pra que eu quero trabalhar?
Great. Amazing. That will be